Hello, everyone. God, the techno in the background is so obnoxious, but I'm going to leave it on. All right. Welcome, everybody, live from the Warrior Strategist studio in almost sunny San Diego. I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, and today we're going to be talking about creating a media database for your business. And this is a very important thing if you like interviews, if you like media coverage, ways of getting more eyes towards what you're doing. And before we get started, give me half a second. I'm actually going to turn that down. My apartment is not a rave, believe it or not. All right. Thank you. I like a little ambient music. I don't like music loud enough to where it distracts me from my inherent thought. It's hard enough to keep track. All right. Let's jump into it. First of all, it's Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing amazing. I slept a little strange, not going to lie. Woke up at like 4 a.m., tossed and turned a little bit, kind of passed out, had some weird dreams. In your late 40s, sleep is always an interesting construct. Sometimes it's a fight. But and today I feel a little off. I might even just call it half a day and just go read or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to live. All right. So today we're going to be talking about media databases, how to easily create one so that you can get more interviews for your business, get more eyes on what you're doing. Before we get started, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Mike's Damascus Knives. Boom. If you need a powerful kitchen knife, everyday carry, utility knife, industrial, something for chopping vegetables and meat, check out mikesdamascusknives.com. Very high quality. These things last forever. Mike will give you tips on how to keep it sharp and clean. Great guy. He was on Forged in Fire. And Mike Peterson is a tremendous human being out of Utah. Great dad. I know him personally. So thank you, Mike's Damascus. Check out his site at mikesdamascusknives.com. All right. Let's get into media database talk. So you're a coach, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're Jared Ledbetter. You want some interviews. You want people writing about you. You want to get on TV. You want podcast interviews, all this good stuff, right? How do we accumulate a database of these people? It's a lot easier than you think. There's no special skills involved. I do this all the time. Everyone, including Lena from Catching Honey, should be paying attention to this. The more media coverage you get for your business, the easier your growth will be, the more sales you'll get. Okay? Making a visibility strategy is actually pretty easy. So if I were going to make a media database, the first thing I'd have to think is, all right, what's my industry? What's my niche? Those of you who don't know the difference, your industry is your general business. So my industry, believe it or not, would be marketing. And then my niche would be PR and visibility strategies. And that's one step down from PR agency, because I am really, really sniper scoped down. I'm not a traditional PR agency, believe it or not. I'm a visibility strategist, which narrows the field of what I do. It's like, you know how there are specialists that are surgeons, but they're only like qualified to work on ears or livers or platelets. That's how I am. I'm a specialized, like, unique PR strategist. So it's not just agency stuff. So anyway, figure out what your business is, like your industry, then figure out your niche. And now this gives you an idea of who you need to be looking for. Because when we get into reporters, there are reporters that cover general There are reporters that cover general topics. Those are your standard every night. Hey, I'm going to report on the news, get a microphone shoved in my face and recite stories. And then there are reporters that are specific. So there are reporters for like the weather or sports or lifestyle or, they cover like business or military or finance. And so when you figure out what your business and what your niche are, then you can start searching. One of the best locations I've ever found for starting your media database is Twitter, now known as X, because Elon is a ketamine huffing moron. Yes, I said it. It's always going to be Twitter to me. It will be Twitter until I'm in a nursing home. I will never, ever call it X deliberately. I hate that name. All right. Anyway, go on to Twitter. Look up reporter, look up producer, look up journalist. And this whole list of people are going to pop up. And what's awesome, Brenda, is that they usually have contact info. They usually want your story. They usually want people writing to them and pitching them a cool story idea. So Twitter is where I go to make first contact. Next, you guys now have the power of AI. ChatGPT can make you a specialized list of reporters in your niche, journos, writers, bloggers, very easily. And you want to make sure that you're trying to match as closely as you can to your industry. So now we got Twitter. Now we got ChatGPT. Now I'm going to throw one at you that's going to blow your freaking mind. Facebook groups. What? If you're trying to make your media database and you want a nearly unlimited amount of podcast interviews, I'm going to give you guys the gold start tips. Pay attention. This is for Gustavo. Go onto a Facebook group called Find a Guest, Be a Guest podcast. Something like that. Search it out. Be a guest on a podcast, some shit. It's a giant group. You're allowed to go in there and pitch yourself as a potential guest on podcasts. This is a huge one. You will get offers. You will get people reaching out to you and wanting to be on your show. And you can also just scroll down and see people's podcasts out there. And if you see one that matches what you do or that you think you'd be a good fit for, reach out and contact them. So we got X, we got ChatGPT, we got FB groups. Now, another dirty trick, and this one is a little bit more throwing spaghetti at the wall, but it's worth mentioning, is to go on Facebook and go on LinkedIn and start searching for the terms podcaster, reporter, producer, journalist. And once these names start popping up, see if it's a match, reach out and contact them. Search engines, LIFB. All right. So with just this alone, and I've been yapping for 8.5 minutes, with this alone, you're probably going to get 5 to 10 interviews, and it does not take that much time. You can also look up every news station in your area. When I'm doing a media database for a specific client, I find out what city they live in, and I always look up the big four and then any independent stations. So, for example, San Diego has Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, and then KUSI, which is an independent. I think we have KPBS too for the hippies. So that's like 6 potential interviews right there to get on TV. Just this information alone can build you up a pretty robust database. So for number 5, I'm going to put TV stations. And then for number 6, you can do what I do. I am a dirty, dirty cheater, Chelsea. And what I do is I have a VA in the Philippines who makes this database for me, which is why I have an enormous Excel that's got hundreds of journos in it, contact info, socials, everything. I have an amazing VA who kicks ass, gets it all done for me, and then can pitch my clients. So VA is also an option. You want to throw a little money out there, and you'll probably make a good friendship too. My VA is awesome. Thank you, CJ. I know you see this. All right. So with that, these tips are how you get a media database. Now, some advice for your database before you even get started: categorize. Okay. So when I say categorize, you can do it by industry or niche. You can do it by type of media. So maybe you can have a list of just podcasters, or a list of just reporters, or just TV, or just newspapers. If you're doing Excel for your database, I would suggest a different tab for every category. And this makes it a little easier for sorting. You'll want to get at least one work email, whoever it is they work for. So, Jerry Jones at freaking Breitbart, for example, and then his email, and then his socials. And that's a nice line there that you can come back to. And then, believe it or not, once your database gets kind of robust and you have all this contact info, you can sell it. I mean, that's up to you, but it's public information. You can absolutely sell it. And it's very valuable for other people in your network. I have my database, like I said, is like 500 to 700 media people with all their contact info. Bet your ass that is valuable. And I can rent it to people. I can sell it. I can use it for my clients, whatever. But making a media database is a very worthwhile endeavor, and it's pretty fast, actually. All right. So that's my segment on media databases. Now we're going to be going to next topic, which is a new announcement. You guys get to be the first to hear, but we have a new book out. One of my clients, Mike Rannigan, owner of Doc's Roofing in Texas, just released From Boots to Business. We did a book deal together. I did some PR stuff for him, and I published his book. This is the first book he's released. It talks about his life going from a Navy corpsman who saw action in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was recently in San Diego this weekend receiving an award for faith-based business leadership. And him and his wife, Rochelle, flew out. We had a steak dinner together. It was awesome. Got to meet him in person for the first time. From Boots to Business is available on the Lulu website. Eventually, it's going to be on Amazon and Barnes & Noble online. You can just Google it. But it's a great book talking about how Mike went from a Navy corpsman to a 7-figure business owner, doing roofing in Texas. The things he credits the most, which are faith, his family, exercise routine, and taking care of his community. This is a really, it's one of my favorite books I've ever written because the content was so strong. Mike teaches some nutrition stuff, and he also has, this was a cool feature we didn't hear, a 30-day journal that you can fill in that has advice for every day, affirmations, reflection questions you can fill in, because Mike is all about self-improvement and helping people to become their best self. So if you get a chance, check out From Boots to Business. It's a good all-around guide, whether you just need, it's not just a business book and it's not just a biography. It's a little bit of everything, but like I said, this is one of my favorite books I've ever written. I started off publishing books, God, over 10 years ago. One of my first ones was Teen Juggernaut. I wrote it for teenagers that have bad families like I did, and just to give them hope that there is a light at the end of a tunnel if you're dealing with relatives that are always going to jail or always on drugs or having problems. Teen Juggernaut was really personal to me just because I know there's a lot of kids out there that grew up like I did. So I filled it with cartoons and fillable worksheets and just tips about the military and college and business and staying away from bad people and realizing that you are powerful, even if you are a teenager or a kid, and life isn't always going to be like it is currently. And then one of my other books I wrote was The Next Level Supercharged. I wrote this for anyone that's got autism, ADD, dyslexia, whatever, just has trouble learning. And I believe this is the only speed learning book in the country. I really got to get it out and market it more. But I wrote this 16 learning tips to learn nearly any job or skill better. Coming from a guy who failed out of high school and college and went on to get 6 degrees, including a PhD, founded his own PR firm in a magazine, and wrote 15 books. Next Level Supercharged, Dr. Rob Garcia. Didn't mean to turn this into an advertisement, just talking about books. All right. So that's about all I got for today. I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you guys ever have, especially on TikTok, if you guys are watching this on TikTok and you ever have PR questions or visibility or like, hey man, how do I get on TV? How do I get in newspapers? How do I get magazine coverage for my business or for my story? Feel free to reach out to me. Follow my TikTok account. I give all kinds of personalized business advice, teach people how to become business industry celebrities when they're starting off as an expert and aren't sure of the next steps. All right. That's all I got for today. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you. This is Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist out of San Diego. And as always, stay famous. See you next time.